hear me.
Go ahead, I can hear you now.
Thoughts on sharing this onto the Facebook page, or do you want to keep it inside?
We can share it to the Facebook page if I can do that easily. Live on Facebook.
3 dots, yeah.
Let's get that rolling over there. How to
Just
JB.
checking to see if anybody on Facebook is having trouble getting in. I've got the links shared.
And we're sharing this to List Builders Lounge.
Yes.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to turn the captions on so that the transcript will record also?
If I have that somewhere, I will. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, we're going to go live on Facebook here real quick. And while that is happening, I'm going to look at my apps and see if I can turn that on. So we are being recorded. And go over to the apps. What's your favorite closed captioning app? Is there one that does it pretty easy that everybody likes?
I meant in Zoom. You can
Right.
do that setting. I don't know. It's under show
I can take care of
captions.
it.
What was that, Krista?
I think I just turned it on. Well, not quite. Save in English. Testing,
There we go.
testing.
Has set the caption language to English. I don't see any captions coming across. I was looking to see if there was an app that would
Well, you know what? It
allow
looks
me
like it's up to each person at the bottom.
because you're
I'm
seeing
seeing-
your own
Really?
captions.
Yep, there's a CC button for closed captions, and you can turn it on.
There we go. Oh, here, and I have a master button too. I can do that as well. Caption English. Okay. Hopefully that is now working for folks, and we will get into the nitty gritty. So welcome to the call. First of all, this is the first time doing this call, especially as our group now is part of the List Building Lounge and the Infinite List community. This is our How to Be a Great JV Partner training. And first off, I just want to get kind of a feel for the room. We still got some people coming in. But how many of you, just quick raise of hands, have ever participated as a JV partner for somebody? You've participated as a JV partner. Okay, so we got a couple of you have. Okay, great. So I'm going to assume then that the others have not, even though you may have looked at it and want to try play out. Hey, Carla. So the thing, what JV stands for is kind of a misnomer. So we're going to just cover that, get that out of the way real fast. JV stands for joint venture partnership. It's again, it's a bit of a misnomer because you're not really joint venturing. You're not going into business together. Where it's gotten its name, it's kind of been hijacked to be used in the industry for this term. But what it really is you're going to just cross promote. You're actually what is better known as affiliate partners. So in other words, let's say I partner with Dr. Mort here, and I agree to share Mort's work with my audience. So we're not entering into a business relationship other than Mort has said, hey, look, Michael, this is the cost of my program. I offer a 40% commission on it. If anybody in your community buys it, I get 40%. So in that respect, it's kind of like a business relationship. I mean, think about it. I'm getting nearly half. Okay, kind of like almost a full partnership. But this is still not, there's no big contractual agreement. I'm just offering it to my tribe. He sells it, he collects the money, he pays me a commission. And then we do the reverse of that. So then he may offer my stuff to his audience with a similar type of a commission structure. So that is what a joint venture partnership is. It's really more of an affiliate relationship where you're promoting someone else's programs, products, services to your tribe in exchange for a commission. And I say in exchange for, the truth is sometimes you might do it for absolutely free. You might do it just because you like somebody. So there, there are lots of ways to slice and dice that part of it, but you're not actually going into business together. So just want to be real clear about that. Now, making great JV relationships is key. There are many people in the industry, and the more you play in this, and when you start venturing into the world of joint venturing, didn't mean to double word that there with the venture. But when you start to do that, you're going to find that people play different ways. There are many people who like to do it as what we call in the industry in a very transactional fashion. What I mean by that is someone may say, all right, I'll mail to my audience, I'll mail to 10,000 people as long as you mail to 10,000 people. I will bring you 500 clicks if you bring me 500 clicks. That's very transactional. It's like they want it to be, an equal return both directions. And it's some people like to play that way and it works very well for them. Personally, it's not the way I like to play. I like to play it based more on relationship and less about the actual numbers. But just making you aware that there are those who that is what they're looking at. How many clicks can you provide? How many emails will you actually send? How many audience? How many opens? They're looking, drill it down to however you want to measure the results, and then they want a tit for tat. All right. So be aware that there is that type of an arrangement you could have. The ones that I prefer are more relational. I have certain spots on my promo calendar that I've reserved for my favorite partners. These are people that I like to play with, that I like to promote, and uh, partially because I know that they deliver. I know that they're skilled at what they do. I know that their people are happy with them. And so therefore, when I send my tribe to them, I'm going to get a glowing response in return. And that's all about relationship. And when you start to do your joint venturing from the relationship-based status, you'll find that often it doesn't have to be reciprocated. It doesn't have to be a tit for tat at all. As a matter of fact, there are many partners that I promote that have yet to promote me back. And you may look at it like, well, why would you do that? Well, I do it for several reasons. One, probably first and foremost, is because of the relationship that we have built. But another one that is right up there with that is how much do I believe in their product, program, or service? How good do I think they are at selling it? Because when it boils down to it, and I want all of you to start to think in these terms. When you're just starting out, your calendar is probably wide open. So you can play with anybody that comes along. But as your schedule starts to get tighter, you start to realize I've got to be more selective about who I'm going to play with. And if you really want to turn your JV partnerships into a really good affiliate revenue stream, you're going to want to partner with people that you know are doing good work, that you know are good at selling what their offer is, that their offer is a fit for your tribe. And I'll use Gina Gabellini as an example. We just came out of completing her launch a little while back, and I love promoting Gina because I know she delivers. I know she's good at what she does. And so it makes it easy for me to promote her. I'm getting ready to promote Alina Vincent coming up in May. I'm promoting Eva Gregory right now. These are all partners that I know, like, and trust and love what they're doing in the world. And so I'm happy to promote them and build those relationships further. And by the way, some of them, let me use another example, Jeff Walker. I love promoting Jeff Walker stuff. Is Jeff Walker going to cross promote and return the favor to me? Hopefully someday. I think my goal would be to get into his top 5 on his leaderboard, and then maybe that'll work. But in the meantime, I still got those nice residual checks from Jeff's program, and I believe in his program. I bought it myself. I use it myself. So these are the other factors that will come into play when you're selecting who you want to JV with and get onto your promo calendar. So I'm going to pause every now and then so that this is just not like a yabbering at you session. And we're going to go into questions and then we'll jump to a next piece of topic. But so far, is anything coming up for folks around just this piece of, the difference of JV versus affiliate and who you might want to partner with, whether it's transactional or relational? Any questions so far? And Krista, feel free to jump in as well, sweetheart.
Sure thing.
All right. Well, if there are no questions on that, then we'll jump to the next piece about different types of launches and how you might support partners. So I'm going to give you some different examples, and some of you may have experienced some of these. If not, you probably will as soon as you start playing more in this field. But there's one big one that's going around right now, which is a webinar swap. And it's not one of my favorite things to do. I've done it, but it's just not one of my favorites. And that is where someone will be running a webinar and you promote. You might even introduce them as part of the webinar. Like I've done this with partners. Well, where I will run the webinar on my site, I will invite my entire tribe and say, hey, I'm going to be hosting this live webinar. I'll use an example. Seth Green, I did one not too far back. And I go, come join me while I talk to Seth about this topic, whatever that is. And then Seth comes and he does his presentation and talk and then leads to an offer. And then if a sale is made, I make a commission. And then Seth can do the reverse and swap for me, bring me to his tribe where he's the one running the webinar, but I am the main speaker. Does that one make sense? That's known as a webinar swap. Now, Tom Poland is a big fan of these. I don't know if any of you know Tom Poland down, I believe he's based in Australia, but that's one of his big things that he talks about. There's another way to do the webinars too, and that's evergreen. And this is actually more of my preferred style. And that is where you can have your webinar set up and you have a partner who's willing to just send direct traffic to it. It's a free webinar. And depending on the style of your webinar, the build of it, it could be direct into a sale. Now, I know some people who like to take the webinar into a phone call, and then from the phone call, they try to make the deal. But depending on the price of your offer, the webinar could lead directly to the sale. And therefore, you just want to drive a whole bunch of traffic to that webinar, which hopefully is evergreen, but it could be live, depending on how you get it set up. So often these days with launches, what's going on, and I'll probably be doing it with our launch we have coming up next month, is we do a series of free content, a couple of webinars, and then maybe even a live stream at the end. And so sometimes those webinars are done live during a launch. And that's another thing you could send people directly to as a partner there. Now, there is another, I think this is one of my favorite ways to promote, and that's simply offering someone's free gift. You know, if someone approaches me, and this is especially handy if you've got a very busy promo calendar and you don't want to be hounding your people with sales. Okay, so like every email you send out is like, hey, buy so-and-so's program or buy this program or buy that program, but just to give them something free. So those are the points when you want to just pop out an email and go, hey, I want to tell you about my friend's free report they just created, which is a game changer in this space or whatever it may be. You just throw that out to your audience. And now your audience is clamoring for that free thing. You're going to get far fewer unsubscribes because you're not pushing a sale. And it can be very effective. And you can just squeeze those in from time to time for a partner if they're just looking to get more opt-ins, more of your people into their world. Now, by the way, when you're going to do something like that, you want to be sure that you are set up as an affiliate. Okay, so as an example, let's say Michael Hessian says, hey, Michael, can you put my free offer out to your tribe? And I agree. And I email it to everybody. Well, I need to be sure that Michael has given me an affiliate tracking link so that when someone clicks to get Michael's free gift, they get entered into his CRM and it's flagged as this person came from Michael Neely. So now, and depending on how his system is set up, if he closes a deal with that person and they buy from him within a certain amount of time, I will get a commission on that. Now I say a certain amount of time because again, and this is, if I leave you with nothing else today, as you start exploring your joint venture partners, understand the mechanics of the game. What do I mean by the mechanics? Okay, so we're going to take this little sidebar here before we go back into more ways to partner. We're going to cover the mechanics of it. Some of the mechanics are, do they pay first referrer or last referrer? Okay, the difference is this. Let's say Krista, Michael is on Krista's list and she sends out an email and says, hey, Michael, Carlos Alteris has this really cool thing. I think you should check it out. It's a free gift. So Michael opts in and he ends up on Carla's list. And let's say Carla pays first refer. Okay. So this is the first time Michael ended up on Carla's list and she's tagged to Krista. But let's say Michael doesn't buy anything. And now 6 months down the road, Michael's on my list as well. And I send him an email saying, hey, Carla's got this new program. You're going to love it. It's $59. Go buy it now. And he goes and buys that program. Krista gets credit for it because she is paying first refer. So the first person who ever brought them to her world is who gets the commission, regardless of who was the last person to refer them. Does everybody follow me in this? Just a quick raise of a hand or nod of your head. Okay. Super, super important. First refer, last refer. And now I'm going to tell you why. I seldom will play with someone who pays first refer. And here's why. Let's say, same scenario, Krista referred Michael to Carla's list. Michael unsubscribes from Krista's list, but he's still on my list. He's been on Carla's list now from Krista for 4 years. Okay, but Krista's out of the picture. Michael doesn't even remember who Krista is, but he's still on my list. And I say, hey, Michael, you should check out this thing from Carla. Well, now he goes and then he buys. Why would Krista get credit for that from 4 years ago when she's not even in the picture anymore? And I'm the one who spurred his action into making the purchase. This is why for me and what we do at Infinite List, we pay last refer. And I will seldom work with entrepreneurs who pay first refer. And and you'll understand more about that later when we get into other parts of how to be a great JV partner. But that's one of the mechanics is first refer, last refer. Okay. There's another mechanic that is known as cookie dropping and cookie tracking. Okay. So now as an example, Michael signs up to be on Carla's list, and Carla has her setting tracks cookies, and she has a deal with her affiliate partners that she will track it for 6 months. So Krista refers Michael, and she also refers Mort. Okay, on the same day, they're doing a big launch, and Michael and Mort end up on Carla's list. Michael buys right away. Okay, Krista gets a commission because Michael bought. Mort is on her list for a year and then buys. Krista does not get a commission because it's beyond the 6-month cookie. Is everybody following this? And that's totally understandable. I mean, if he's been on her list now for a whole year, unless Krista has sent him there again and refreshes that cookie, okay, if he's just been hanging out on Carla's list and finally he decides to buy a year later, well, Carla's the one who really convinced him of that sale. Carla's the one who closed the deal, not so much Krista. And therefore, I understand why some people might say we're only going to cookie a sale for 6 months or so. If they buy after that, it's totally on us. You don't get a commission. Does everybody follow that? Okay, great. So that's another one of the mechanics that is playing out behind the scenes is how long will you still get credit if that person buys? Now, some people do this entirely arbitrarily. They don't set a time factor on it. They just kind of get a feel for it. What I do in our business is we'll even reach out to the person who made the purchase and we'll say, what prompted you to buy? And if they say, well, I've been on your list for 2 years. I mean, I love what you're saying and you're why I bought, then we probably would not pay a commission. But if they said, oh, well, I got on your list a year ago, Al sent me and, he talks about you all the time. Well, we're going to give that commission to Al. All right. So we want to be sure because it's really important that you reward your JV partners so that they'll be more likely to send you people in the future. Okay. So again, it's not about being stingy, but it is about tracking, what's helping you to generate the sales that you are making. Another background mechanic that you have to be aware of is what's called a 2-tier structure. Now, you don't have to be aware of this, but it's good to know about if someone is offering 2 tiers. People who are playing big in the affiliate marketing field will often do a 2-tier structure. And what that means is this. You could be what I would call the first tier. So let's say I've referred, or Michael is a partner of mine and Michael promotes for us. And if we do a 2-tier structure, Michael can go, well, I'm making good money as an affiliate partner for these guys. He starts talking to all of his friends and gets them to sign up to be affiliates. So if we have a two-tier structure, that means if Michael refers someone, they get a 40% commission, but maybe the second tier says Michael will also get a 10% commission off of what they sell. Okay, it's not really multi-level marketing, but it is a second tier of a commission we will give to someone who brings us partners. That makes sense for everybody? It's a two-tiered structure, and it's really good if you're trying to grow a whole bunch of partners. You can get your partners to bring in partners and get that second tier affiliate commission. And if you're good at that, you know a lot of people who like to play as affiliate partners, and there is a two-tier structure, those are great companies to partner with for that. All right. Chris, are there any other mechanics in the background you can think of that we should be covering?
This will probably be for another section, but I think you'll be talking about how to swipe copy and affiliate links, and then how to take that information and transfer it. Yeah, I mean that covers the mechanics. I think we're ready to move on to the next piece.
Well, you just reminded me of one other when you did say affiliate link and stuff. So you do want to have an affiliate link and make sure that your partner has a tracking system that will monitor those things. However, not everybody's set up for that. So there's another way to track, which you can do. And it's kind of more on an honor system, though, to be real clear about this, and that is using a coupon code. So I could give you a unique coupon code to you, and this happens a lot in the podcasting space, where a podcaster may say, hey, go buy this product from PetSmart, use my code, Infinite List, and you will get 10% off. Well, now, if anybody buys from PetSmart using that code, PetSmart knows they came from me and will pay me the commission. That's their way of tracking so that they don't have to give out these unique odd links to everybody. They just have you use your affiliate codes, your promo codes. So those are another good way to do it, but it is on an honor system, because when someone goes and buys from PetSmart and uses that code, I have no idea. I have no way of tracking that. I just hope that they will be honest and go, yeah, we got this many came in. And truth is, it could be the same way with other affiliate tracking. But often, if someone is using an affiliate tracking link system, you will often be able to go in and look at your results yourself. So the better systems out there that track give you that access. All right. So those are some of the mechanics behind the scenes. Now let's get back into other ways to support in a launch. As we left off before, we had talked about webinars being one of the things that you can promote. Obviously, promoting someone's lead magnet, those are one-offs. But a lot of what you're going to want to fill your calendar with, and this is where, well, let me just ask a quick question. How many of you want to build an affiliate revenue stream that reaches 6 figures or more? 100,000 a year just in affiliate revenue, okay? It's doable. Mine is almost there right now. And the way you do it is you find the right partners, and especially those who pay lifetime commissions. I'll give you a couple examples that I love: Entreport and Kajabi. I get checks from them every single month, way more than I pay for either of those CRM platforms, which I use them both, but I get way more in commissions from them than I pay to them. And that is a phenomenal thing when you find something like that that is an ongoing system that you will continue to make money from. Phenomenal thing when you find something like that that is an ongoing system that you will continue to make money from. Okay, that was on you, Chris. I was hearing myself back from your screens. Okay, so this is one of the things that you're going to want to be aware of, is that you're going to look for partners who are going to help you to build that stream. And by the way, a lot of your partners, like I'll use some other examples I've already spoken of: Jeff Walker, Elena Vincent, Eva Gregory, they all do their launches pretty much the same month every year. And so I mark on my calendar already a year in advance when their next one is going to be. And you want to fill your calendar with your best promo partners. Now, when I say fill your calendar, what I really mean is this. You can promote like crazy for free stuff, but when you're ready to play big and start to really raise that revenue line, you're going to want to probably position no more than 2, but probably 1 partner per month. That would be 12 key partners that you are going to play full out. Now, what do I mean by full out? Okay, a lot of the people who are doing big launches, which is the best time to play, by the way, because that's when you're going to get a lot of sales. They're geared up for a lot of sales. They're going to throw in lots of bonuses to help close deals. So therefore, the better they're selling, the better your commissions. And launch time is gold time. Okay. And so you're going to want to play full out on those events with the right partners. And what that means potentially, I will mail, I think when I promoted for Jeff Walker, I think I mailed 10 times. I know that may seem like a lot to some of you, but I know people who mailed 14 times and more just during a 2-week launch. And the way that you're going to close those deals is twofold. Number one, you're going to want to start early in a launch and get a lot of people opted in from you. Okay. Because you want to be leading the pack early on with those opt-ins, getting people in there right away, and then be mailing all along the way to continue, because often when someone is doing a big launch, they're going to have more than one free thing. In product launch formula style, these items are called PLC, which stands for pre-launch content. You're going to have PLC 1, 2, and 3 usually. And they're all free things that you can send people to. So maybe somebody didn't, that first one didn't get them over the line to jump in on it, but maybe the second free gift will, or maybe the third one will. It depends on timing and so many factors. So the more you mail for it, the better chance you've got for someone jumping in for the free stuff. Then
I know you're chatting. I just want to, if anybody is starting to glaze over because it's feeling like a whole lot of information, one of the main reasons that I asked Michael to do this training for us at this time is for this exact thing that Michael's talking about right now, because many of you have raised your hands to be a partner with Infinite List on our PFL. Am I saying it right? PLF style launch, which is happening April 1. So, which is different than just, hey, it's a webinar. Hey, it's kind of free and loosey goosey. There's very specific times to it. So if you're starting to glaze over, kind of hone back in, because this is the part that we hope that you'll really be able to understand, and that partnering with us on this launch will be a really good experience for you, and you'll feel confident with it. And then you'll be interested in doing it for other people, Jeff Walker or whoever that might be. So I just kind of wanted to frame that and go, okay, this is the piece that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetheart. And also, like she was saying as well, as you're paying attention to this and playing along with our launch, you may want to do your own launch like this at some point too. So it's another good thing I love following launches to see what I can learn from them. So with that said, these big PLF style launches will be anywhere from, I've seen them go as short as like 9 days to as long as 21 days. So it is a long launch period because you're getting people in, you're getting them excited, you're educating them. The person who's hosting who's doing the launch. So that's why they start with the pre-launch content spread out over time to educate and inform the people about this particular topic of the launch. And it also preps them for where they're ultimately going. And if they stick through it with all of that, they're probably going to be an ideal buyer of whatever it is that's being launched. Okay, so pre-launch content usually comes in 3 phases, and that'll often be followed then by a few days of webinars, where now the person who's doing the launch is on calls with these people so they can answer more direct questions, they can give more training, more feedback. And then usually 2 things are going to happen, and potentially a third. There's what we call cart open and cart close. And I'll cover that in a minute. And just before we get to that, the other thing that sometimes happens is a live stream. So as an example, on next week, I'm going to be on Eva's live stream, where they will bring in some of the contributors, some of the guest experts who are promoting the launch, and they will cover some topics that are all kind of relevant, giving more value to the people who are coming along for the ride, and then also to help close more sales. But cart open, cart close, this one is key now. If you really want to up your revenue stream, you're going to want to play big and cart open and cart close. Leading up to this, all you've been doing is offering free stuff. Okay. And again, if you're offering free stuff, your audience will love it. You can offer it out the wazoo. But now you're going to try to make a sale. When the cart is open, you're going to start to try to get your people on your list to buy this other person's program. everybody following this? Card open, you're going into selling mode, not even for your own stuff, but for someone else's. And this, by the way, is why I recommend you really only push for somebody's stuff that you know, like, and trust yourself. You're either using it yourself or you know them so well, you know they're really good at it. So card open, what I do, and I recommend you do, and I think a lot of the top performers in the JV space in the business do, you throw in your own bonuses. Now, this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I bonus more value than the cost of the program I'm trying to get someone to buy. All right. So let's use Alina Vincent as an example. Alina just sold her program for $997. I'm going to make a 40% commission, which means I'm only going to make about $400 if someone buys it. Does everybody follow that math? She's selling it for like 1,000. I get 40%. I'm going to make $400. I've made a huge bonus stack saying buy through me, and I'm going to give you this, this, and this. And I'm giving away my programs that cost over $2,000. Now, why would I do that? Give programs over $2,000 worth of programs, and I'm only going to make 400. Well, the reason is I figure everybody on my list who hasn't already bought those programs from me probably ain't going to buy them from me. Does that make sense? Like my podcasting course, I normally sell that at either $19.97 or $9.97. If they haven't already bought it from me, well, why don't I give it as a gift if they buy someone else's program? And now at least I made 400. Okay, because it doesn't cost me any more to deliver it. Krista, it looked like you were going to add something there, or were you just
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, this is where it can get really interesting and exciting because you're sweetening the pot with what you do. People are now not only getting what they're paying for from your JV partner, but they're getting something from you as well. And just gives you that extra opportunity to see how you can add value.
Yeah. And when I'm giving stuff, by the way, and this is important as you decide what you're going to give, I want to be real clear. And in case I know we did have a few hands that didn't go up about joint venturing, so I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that maybe you don't know the industry jargon, the definition term between high touch, low touch. Okay. A high touch program is something where it requires a lot of my personal time. So when you're giving a gift, don't give something that is high touch. Okay. Because again, in that example, I make $400. But if you give a gift saying, oh, you get to spend a full day mastermind with me, whoa, you just gave away, probably one of your most expensive products for $400, and it takes all of your time. But I can give away my flagship course, which doesn't take any of my time. It's all of these videos. It's all delivered electronically. Yes, it's worth a lot of money, but it doesn't cost me any more to just say, okay, you can have it. Is everybody following that logic? Great. Because you want to be sure that you're giving value, but it's not costing you personally out of your own time. Therefore, that commission, whether it's 400, 800 if her program were twice as much, it's still worth it the more you add in bonuses. And I'm telling you, these bonuses are what will send people over the edge to make the purchase. Real world example. How many of y'all know Christian Michelson? Okay, got a few. Yeah, okay. Few hands went up. That's good. So I like Christian, and I've been, we've known each other for several years, and I still like his work. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was to, he was doing a Jeff Walker launch, and I'd already owned Jeff Walker's program. And by the way, it'll sound crazy in a minute, but you'll hear several people who've done this. But he was promoting Jeff Walker, and he threw together the most amazing bonus package, which included a full day VIP day with him down at his place at his Miracle Mansion in San Diego. And it was a group VIP day. It wasn't a solo VIP day. It was a group one. And it included that as part of the bonuses. And so I bought Jeff Walker's program again, just because I wanted the bonuses that Christian was offering, because they were worth more than what it cost me for the program. So I'm telling you, when you put in a really good bonus stack, it will make the difference. Key point to definitely tech first, and keep in mind, only do this if they're paying last refer. Okay, because you want your click, your link to be the one that people click on right before they buy. So literally, I had to go into Christian's email and click on that email, click his link, and then buy right then, because I know I was already in Jeff Walker's world. I had to be sure that Christian was getting credited with my sale so I could collect in those bonuses. Okay. And when you do this, when you're playing full out as a JV partner, it will make a massive difference in how well you perform in those sales. And there's just something fun. I love getting the commission checks that come in. Like I got one yesterday from Entreport, came in a couple days before that from Kajabi. It's just money that just shows up from affiliate partnerships that are out there floating around. I got one from Jeff Walker, came just the other day. I love that stuff. And it doesn't take much effort on your part to really build that up. It does take a little bit of strategizing. Who are you going to partner with? How are you going to do it? Running a proper promo calendar. All of those things come into play. Zenit is here on the call with us today. Zenit is my executive assistant, and she runs my promo calendar, my email. Well, she runs so much of what we do here, which is great. But it's important to have somebody that helps you with that. If you don't have someone, I would recommend that you have someone helping as your JV manager to organize these relationships and your promotional calendar. And it makes a massive difference in your partnerships. All right. And that isn't a PLF style of launch where you want to play full out. Now,
May I insert before you change topics?
I'm not
please?
changing subjects
Okay.
yet, but I do want to say that on the JV partnerships, you can promote someone who's doing that. It doesn't mean you have to do 12 emails. It doesn't mean you have to promote and do cart open and cart close. You could just jump in and offer the free stuff and say, okay, that's all I can do this time, but hey, you could still make money out of it. So I just wanted to be sure there are multiple levels you can play. Even when someone's doing a big launch, we're happy to have someone just jump in and do one email. It's still appreciated. All right, Krista, go ahead, sweetie.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share a strategy that in a sense is a even playing field. Now, there are some strategies that Michael's talking about that the more you do, you can get on leaderboards, then you're winning extra bonuses and you're making more money because you're on a leaderboard. But that's the top dogs playing with the top dogs. If you're just getting going, that's like really not even the realm of possibility. But what is when you really believe in what is being launched right now. So we'll just use the Infinite List as an example. You've had a great experience with it and you have your own story, and then you want to pair something of your own bonus to go with it. Then of course we will send you swipe copy, but what if you wrote something of your own that really spoke directly to your audience? It's in a way that they're used to hearing your voice, and you share with them how this has moved the needle for you, why you're recommending it, and then why you're pairing your bonus with it so that collectively that can help them go to the next level. So whether you have a huge list or a handful of people that are tuned into who you are, any one sale you do is going to mean money. It's not accumulation. You don't have to have 85 people to then earn something. Every single one will give you your affiliate commission. So can you start to see how when you align with a partner, with someone really, like Michael was using the example of Eva Gregory is launching right now. Carla, she'd be great for you to promote the next time she does it because her work aligns with what your work is, and it speaks to your audience, and you can speak from experience of knowing her, working, meeting her, how it's going to benefit them. And so those just really carefully curated, value-driven messages will help your people go, oh, this is really great. And they'll say yes. And now you're playing that JV game because you're earning the commission.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. There's another thing in the joint venture space that you're going to want to kind of pay attention to. And that is it's kind of like in the movie industry. And I guess that works as an example for me because I was in that industry. You got your A-list actors, you got your B-list actors, your C-list and so forth. And it's very similar in the joint venture playground. You've got your A-listers, your B-listers, your C-listers, and so on. And your A-listers are going to be those that are very hard to get into their world to play in. Okay. They're the ones with really massive lists, massive followings. People listen to what they say. You know, if one of them were to give you their blessing and say, hey, you should be buying Dr. Mort's stuff, they're going to take action. A lot of them will. And it could be a game changer for any one of us. Those are your A-listers. And even B-listers can be really tough to get into the playground with. But the way you do it is twofold. One, you start at the bottom and you work your way up. You know, if you're starting out, I don't know how low the levels could go, depends on how you break it down, I guess. But let's say it goes A through E. If you're starting out and you're at an E level, find the other E level players and maybe start to look at who are a couple of the D list players that might be willing to play with you, and start to lead by going first. This is the biggest challenge I see in the JV industry is so many novices, they're so excited to get their own business rolling that they run out there and they start going, hey, will you promote me? Will you promote me? Will you promote me? And they're asking everybody. And it's like they haven't earned that right to play yet. They're asking bigger level players to jump in and they haven't done anything for them. Well, why should they? Why should the bigger player be willing to play? So you want to get on their radar. And the way to do that, jump in, promote their launch. And like I said, I'm doing this with Jeff Walker. I'm trying to get into his top 5, at least his top 10, so that he'll start to recognize my name. And by the way, one of the things that can help too is I, got into it. They do these opt-in contests. Another bit of the mechanics of it is someone who's doing a big launch, in addition to your commissions, they can give away really nice prizes. I've seen people give away a Ferrari as the top prize for their number one promoter. I've seen people give away $100,000 as a bonus in addition to the commissions to their top promoter. And I've also won lots of little prizes along the way. So in Jeff Walker's, as an example, they had an opt-in challenge. And so whoever sent, for every 100 opt-ins you sent, you got entered into a drawing. And I think I had sent like 300 opt-ins. And so I got 3 pieces in the drawing and I won $1,000. So there are little games you can play along the way that will also increase your revenue. So you got to pay attention to those games, but go first. Start by trying to get on someone else's leaderboards, build your name up if you want to, and then work from E to D and then start to play there a little bit. And all the time, what makes you more valuable as a JV partner is you growing your own list. Okay, you can be a great JV partner without a huge list. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction on that, because you might have great personal relationships with people and you might be somebody who gets on the phone to someone and says, you really should be buying this program, and people follow you. So you don't have to have a massive list to still be a great partner. But when you start to play at bigger levels, the bigger list helps a lot. So you're going to want to continue, as you're doing the back and forth JV partnering, continue to grow and grow and grow your own list so that you can move from E to D to C, B, and hopefully end up being one of the A-list players, or at least playing with them. When you have an A-list supporter emailing for you, it truly is a game changer. Okay, do we have any questions that are popping up so far? I'm going to kind of keep an eye on hands and everything. And if y'all feel free to just chime in, raise a hand if you have questions or need better clarification on any of these elements.
Well, Karen had asked about how you get started when you have a small email list, which you were still talking about how you can still do this. And I was too, even with a small list, the more engaged they are, the more likely you are to bring someone in that's going to buy. And then of course, the growing your email list, that's what we do at Infinite List. That's our whole specialty, is guiding people through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I say you can do well with a small list, it really is this. Let me give you some realistic math on it. Anytime I'm on a leaderboard, especially if it's early in the leaderboard, I'll look at, when it gets to the sales part of the leaderboard, they'll say something like, and these people also have sales. Okay. So if you know you got 10 on the leaderboard, and then you get a whole group of people who also made at least one sale. Okay. So then you can simply do the math: one sale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it maybe means, if everybody has a different number, that the top spot only has 10 or 11 sales, 12 sales. I've known people to win a leaderboard with 12 sales. and they won the top spot. So think about that. Even if you don't have a list, maybe you know 12 people well enough that you could even just call up and say, hey, have you seen so-and-so's program? You really should check this out. I think it's a great fit for you. You could win a leaderboard without doing a single mailing if you had that kind of gumption to do that, is the point. So it's not always just related to the list. It's more related to how much effort do you want to make to do that, which leads me to this piece of a training that I want to maybe plant a little seed with y'all. How many of you, Michael, I know that you are, Krista, can you get us back to group so I can see everybody here? My screen keeps changing. Michael, I know that you work in the financial space, right? And in our world of, like, when we're trying to market and get a whole bunch of people, I'm going to switch the view myself because it's throwing my thought. I want to keep it a gallery. Okay, so if I've got a bunch of people that I am going to talk to personally to refer to somebody, Michael knows a lot of people in the financial space, right? Because that's what he does. And he could easily, for the right stuff and the right offer, probably win a leaderboard around that space without having to have a big email list. Okay, so it'll depend on who you know and what's the space and what is your relationship with people is a big chunk of it. All right, Carla, I see your hand up. What's your question?
Yeah. So for the newbies, maybe if anybody else is new at this. So when I started out, I think I've told you this before, I had a lot of business folks because I was associated with Eva. And so I got a lot of people on my list that were business owners, but now like I see my email list is kind of a mess and I need to, so now moving forward, I want to like tag and segment them. But how do you do that if you have like a lead magnet on your web page and then you have a Facebook group and they join? Like, is there a way to like you ask them? And so I see some people are more sophisticated. Do you want to receive business emails? Like that kind of thing. Like, how do you get them so they're segmented out? Because I'm spending them to everyone, and then some people are unsubscribing because I'm promoting Eva, and I'm like, oh crap, like I don't want to,
Well, first of all, I would say don't ever worry about unsubscribes because people are going to leave, and you got to let them go. And as your list gets bigger, you'll worry less and less about that.
Okay.
But the other part I want to say is that, man, I'm having a real, like, my thoughts keep getting derailed today. So back up right before the part about the unsubscribes with Eva. How do you were asking, how do you
like
tag them? Thank you.
Individually,
Okay.
I have to tag them or ask them.
Right. So what you want to do is you don't need to ask them, but you do need to set your world up correctly. So for every free lead magnet that I put out there, when someone opts in for that, it tags them saying they got that lead magnet. So based on the lead magnet, I should be able to tell what their interest is. So I have one of my lead magnets is how to launch a rockin' podcast in 14 days. If someone opted in for that, I know they're interested in podcasting. I have another one on the 5 key objectives you must consider to run a successful summit. If they opted in for that, I know they're interested in summits. So unless you do a quiz and get more demographic information, basically when they come into your world, you want to tag them based on what they selected. If you're running Facebook ads, well, what did they opt in for? What was the gift? Tag them with that gift so you know that's their interest. Does that make sense?
Well, see, it does. And then most of my world is like self-love, love life, but I'm trying to play with everyone in the business world. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my challenge. Yeah. I got to talk to you, Krista. We'll talk next week.
Well, and the thing about it is don't, just, that's probably enough, isn't it? I mean, like, give me 2 lead magnets that you have.
Well, one is like Alignment Made Easy, and I actually catered it to women entrepreneurs because I was like in that world playing with someone, and then I'm like, I want to open it to men too. So I took off the I didn't want to exclude anyone.
Right.
So
yeah.
But
so the first batch you could tag, and you could go through a list and try to tag them based on gender, if you can figure it out, based on their name or potentially based on what they signed up for. But quite honestly, I mean, a guy might have signed up for it too, just going, hey, if it's good for her, it's going to be good for me too. I might as well check it out. So,
Well, I just kind of solved my own thing because I'm actually making it like my three-pronged approach to business is like love, health, and prosperity. So what I'm going to do is include abundance and prosperity in the whole energy thing.
love
So
it.
that
There you
way
go.
I can be like, okay, prosperity,
Yeah.
lead magnet. There we
Yeah.
go.
And following on what Carla's asking about too, you can always dig further with your own list by creating new stuff. So often when I create something new, I'll first roll it out to my own list. They're already on my list, but I want to see if they like it. So I'll say, hey, click here to opt in. I have them sign up again for a free gift, because at least then it tracks it to them and I know, okay, cool, they like that gift. So I could send a meditation to my entire list and then I'll know which of my list likes meditations. So there are a lot of ways that you can continue to further niche your list so you can dial in, and that'll really support you in your marketing to them. All right. So yeah, you got it. So back on the JVing part, okay, because we're going to need to wrap up at the top of the hour unless Krista is able to stay longer, but I only allotted 1 hour for this before my next call. As you're looking at JV partnering, lead with I'll go first, show up, play full out, because here's the other thing about the industry. You may think, oh, well, so-and-so had, 100 people sign up as JV partners. They won't notice that I didn't do anything. Well, they do. I ran a big launch a few years back, a big PLF style launch. I had 100 people say, yes, I'll be a JV partner. Only 40 of them sent anybody. So those 60 people, now granted, I'd have to go through the list to know, but pretty much the major ones that I'm like, wow, you said you'd play and you didn't do anything. Well, I remember that. And so if they ever turn around and say, well, you want to mail for me? I'd be like, yeah, no. So keep it in mind that, you want to honor that commitment. If you say you're going to play in a giveaway, give it your best. Play full out. It will get noticed. And trust me, there are people I've been surprised time and again by, like, wow, look who's showing up on my leaderboard. I had no idea. So that's the other benefit of it. Surprise them, get on the radar. And here's another little side tip. Play in these even when your list is small, and observe. Watch the leaderboard, look who's on it, look at the emails that are going out. I look at leaderboards for one big reason. I mean, other than to see if I'm on it, but I'm also looking for who are my other good partners to play with. Who else do I want to reach out to and say, hey, I noticed you did really well on Eva's leaderboard. Would you be willing to support me in my next launch? That's how you find your partners. Now, of course, you're going to want to build the relationships with them first. I would actually do the reverse of that. I'd probably reach out to them, especially if I knew they had, good quality product and what they're selling was a fit for my tribe. I would reach out and say, can I promote your next launch? Let me know. Would love to promote it. And as a matter of fact, that's one of my goals for this year is I'm looking for, I consider myself probably like a C-level partner. Even though Florida is a little bit above sea level. No, I'm just kidding. C-level partner. So I want to actually advance to B level. Michael liked that one. My dad jokes. So I'm gonna go after some B level people, and I'm gonna say, can I promote you? Because I want to earn a spot in their leaderboard so that they'll think of me when I'm ready to say, hey, would you be willing to promote me next time? So start looking at who that is. Who do you want to play with? Who do you want to elevate with so you can jump and work your way up to ultimately be playing at that A level? And when you do, it's good money all along the way. All right, questions? We got about 5 minutes left, and I think we'll put it out to some questions and any other challenges that people may have. Krista, anything to add?
I just wanted to open up for any clarifying questions. So I guess a couple of things would be, well, what to expect? If you've signed up and said, yes, I'll JV with you, or for this example with the Infinite List launch coming up, then you'll be on the lookout for our swipe email that's going to be sent out in another probably week or two that will say, hey, this is what you need to do. And it should being that it's led by a very experienced JV partner, laid out very clearly with swipe copy, with your affiliate link, with a schedule, and then you take that and play as full out as you can by using the swipe. If you have a VA that does all of your JVs or is a JV manager for you, then you'll pass that off. Otherwise, for the beginning, you'll be doing that for yourself and schedule the emails, get them out, and to stay on top of it. Make sure that when you say yes, that you are following through, like Michael was saying. And in this case, being that you are somewhat new, if along the way you have questions about any of it, don't hesitate to reach out to us. That's why we're opening up this kind of behind the scenes for our members, so we can also teach you to become better at what you're doing and giving you the opportunity to do it. So we're happy to help along the way if you have questions.
Yeah. So anybody who's in this chat, because I know we also open it up to general public, and you may or may not yet have said, hey, I'm in, I want to support the Infinite List launch. Please just write in the chat, I'm in. And if you can, give your email, or Zenit, if you want to put your email in the chat, you guys can drop a line to Zenit and say, I want to support the Infinite List upcoming launch, and we'll get you set up with swipe copy. Now, again, for those of you who are new to the game, swipe copy means we're going to give you the email text that you can send. It's kind of, they call it swipe copy because like you're swiping it from us. We're actually just giving it to you knowingly, but that is an opportunity for you to be lazy about it. I'm not suggesting you do, by the way. I suggest quite the opposite. But if you're going to be lazy and you just want to get it out there, we'll give you the copy of what to say, and you just put your signature line to it and zip it out to your list. That's called the swipe copy, and we'll be sending that out. My recommendation is rewrite the swipe, massage the swipe to your own voice. It's fine to leave the bulk of it if there's, details and data that you want to be sure to include, but you're always better off to write it in your own voice, talk to your tribe, talk to your list, and let them know how you feel about what the offer is and what value you might see. So if you're in and you want to do that, Zena's put her email in the chat there. Just drop a line. Our launch is April 1 through 14. We're paying 30% lifetime commissions. And it's an easy sale. Joining the Infinite List is an easy yes. We have several Infinite List members here in the room right now. And it is very simple. Yes, it's $250 for the first month, $125 per month thereafter, and you would get 30% commission ongoing. As long as that person remains a member, you get 30% commission. And what they're getting for membership is kind of a no-brainer, because when you think about a cost per lead and the number of leads we help them to bring into their business through the Infinite List and what they can do with those leads, because everyone that transfers into a sale, and you think about the customer lifetime value, well, what would you do with 1,000 new leads? I know for me, 1,000 new leads, that's equivalent to 40 sales. Because I close 4% of my list. I did the math the other day recently on my entirety of my list, and 4% of my list has ever bought from me. So 1,000 new people, that means 40 sales, and 40 sales equates to quite a bit of money, worth far more than the cost of membership. And so it's one of those things you have to look at, like that type of an investment. And so it's an easy sale, and we'd be happy to have you all play with us. So we'll catch you on, we'll probably do some more of these trainings. We'll do some during launch as well. But I appreciate you guys showing up today. And if you do have questions, drop us a line. You can get a hold of me through Zenit or through our website. And I appreciate you guys coming and playing with us today. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.